Friday night, Frank Rock, House of Orange Sports Channel. Tennessee baseball makes it 17 in a row with a big victory tonight to open SEC play over the Crimson Tide of Alabama and Alabama. Let's get right into this thing tonight as Tennessee comes out of the gates in the first inning, gets a run on a bases loaded walk by Robin Villeneuve, and then Dean Curley strikes out looking at all three pitches to end the inning. Alabama answers in the bottom of the first with 2 home runs to make it 2-1. Looks like AJ Causey's off to a not so strong start. How's he going to answer to that? Well, he answered that one. He went 6 2/3 tonight, 2 earned runs, 8 strikeouts, 1 walk. Really good outing for him, as it looks like for the foreseeable future, he's going to be the Friday night guy. Now, I'm going to get to one of my bullet points is concerns. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later on. It doesn't involve Causey by any means. It involves the other AJ and what we may or may not know about him. But Tennessee takes care of business tonight in this game, starts a SEC play on a roll. Had they have scored a couple runs in the 8th inning, they could have withstood to have run ruled Alabama tonight. I love the fact that it was even mentioned on air as whoever the guy was, it just wouldn't be quiet tonight. That was a colored guy. I think I read that he is an Alabama, played for Alabama. I'm not sure who it was off the top of my head, but anytime you beat Alabama in any sport, it is a great night. And let's hope this team finishes off the weekend strong as they've come into SEC play in dominant form, picking up where they have left off. So the offense keeps on rolling tonight. And looking at that offense, so with that said, Christian Moore 0 for 5. He had a hit by pitch, 1 run scored tonight. Not a great night for him, but here's what I really liked. Blake Burke 3 for 5, 1 home run, 2 RBIs, 3 runs scored. A great start to SEC play for him. Billy Amick, 2 for 3, 2 walks, 2 runs scored. Kavaris Tears, 1 for 4, 2 RBIs, 1 home run, 1 walk, 1 run scored. Now, one thing of concern was Tennessee did have 11 strikeouts tonight. I would like to see that cut in. Obviously, you can't cut it down to 5.5, but I would like to see it cut in that 5 to 6 range. Dylan Dreiling, 2 for 4. Dylan Dreiling had the big hit tonight. Tennessee's down 2-1. Ben Hess, Alabama's pitcher, I thought he was flirting with disaster. He was working a little, what I felt was a little careless, a little annoying, honestly. Blazes a fastball. Dylan Dreiling turns on it. 2 for 4, 2 RBIs, 1 home run, 1 triple, 1 walk. Turns on it. Tennessee takes the lead. They never look back from that point on. Robin Villeneuve 0 for 3, 1 RBI. He did have 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. Now, one thing I don't like about his at-bats tonight, his strikeouts specifically, this dude he's going for the fences every time. You have to learn, especially in this league, to cut down on it. Maybe choke up and go the other way. Cut down on that swing. Each of his strikeouts, if I'm a pitcher, I'm throwing him. And it's easier said than done to throw a guy the way you want. But if you're in an ideal world, if I'm throwing Robin Villeneuve, I'm throwing him a breaking ball. It's going to start middle of the plate and break out. He's going to go for it every time. And he's going to go for the downs. He's not going to try to take it the other way. It's his swing. It is what it is. And I think it's something that bears monitoring later on, is you're going to get some guys who are earning at bats. There's guys I've talked about, as you have a lot of dudes who can get into this lineup. If Villeneuve proves that, well, he can't hit that pitch and he's swinging for the downs each time, it bears watching. I mean, right now, you look at it, his numbers are he's hitting 333. That average has started to slowly decrease. It's still a really good average, but it's started to slowly trickle down a little bit, which kind of I have a little bit of concern on that. Dean Curley 1 for 4. He had a double. He had a walk. He had a run scored. Cannon Peebles 1 for 5 with an RBI. Cannon Peebles one hit prolonged an inning to where Tennessee was able to capitalize and get on that. Peebles got a run in. I thought this was interesting as I come to it. Hunter Ensley 0 for 2, 2 strikeouts tonight. Not a good night. I've talked about Hunter Ensley. I've talked about Hunter Ensley from game one. Having to produce. His production is not there. It hasn't been there all season. Yeah, he's been hitting a little better recently. It's like, well, he probably earned the right to get in the lineup. Tony Vitello, after 2 at-bats, pulled him, not put Dalton Bargo in. Dalton Bargo went 2 for 2, 2 RBIs, 1 double. Let's compare the two right here. Hunter Ensley is hitting 260. Dalton Bargo's hitting 400 on the season. Albeit, Bargo has 15 less at-bats. But who am I going to take more of right here? 2 and 2 home runs, RBIs. Bargo has 13 to 10. I don't think there's much of a case there, guys. I've said it. I've been saying it. Ensley, Chapman, these guys, they're going to have to step it up. Chapman had a good weekend last weekend. Ensley's had some good outings recently, but if you get in SEC play, if these guys aren't hitting, they're not going to play, and you have to get guys like Bargo in there. Especially he comes in off the bench tonight, 2 for 2. Credit to him. It's not easy to stay focused. It's not easy to maintain being ready. Apparently the guy was ready. Comes in, goes 2 for 2 tonight. Caps off a big inning. Caps off a good night for Tennessee baseball. Just with what he did. And there's 2 more games this weekend, obviously. But tonight's off to a great start. A.J. Causey, I looked at the pitching. He went 6 2/3 tonight. 8 strikeouts, 6 hits, 1 walk. Lowers his ERA, or his ERA is now 2.70. Andrew Banky come in, 17 pitches, 1 inning, 2 strikeouts, still at 0.00. Aaron Combs, 32 pitches, 1 1/3 inning, 1 earned run. 1 hit, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. I mean, the biggest thing with Combs that's getting him in trouble is the walks, and that's been an issue the whole year. Causey, 1.65 for the year. Banky, 1.80 for the year. Combs, 6.75. I don't know how you close a guy with that ERA. Maybe you continue to work with him in situations and let him earn that. But right now, Combs is, if it boils down to it, I don't think he's the guy I want closing on this team. I'm looking more at Marcus Phillips or Nate Snead, and I'm curious to see where they go with on Wednesday. Snead's been throwing a lot of innings through the week, but is that just preparation to get him ready for the weekend, or where's that going to go with it? But talked about my bullet points. Offense keeps rolling. Talked about that 17 in a row tonight. Talked about the stats. Causey, another good night for him. Now, reason for concern. How many weekends in a row is this now? A.J. Russell is not pitched. Obviously, Tony Vitello is going to downplay what his injury is. Maybe he's back sooner rather than later. I have not seen anything that's given a timetable on him. So I think the longer this goes, the more you have to be concerned about what's going on with A.J. Russell. Maybe we see him back within the next couple of weeks, and let's hope so. I think you have a rotation of Russell and or Causey Friday night, Beam Saturday, Russell and or Causey on Sunday. That's a very good weekend rotation there. Who are you going to factor in moving forward? Obviously, you get in these blowout games, you can throw younger guys, but I think you get in these close situations, you're going to be looking at it. I think Combs is going to be a factor. He's got to cut down the walks. Nate Snead is going to be a guy. Marcus Phillips. Who's your left-handed guys? Kirby Cannell. I think you got to look that he'll probably be one of those guys. I still wonder about Wyatt Evans. What can he contribute to this? And, right now it's sounding like the urban legend of Wyatt Evans, as I've talked about him since my season preview, and we've yet to see him. So maybe this is like Jack and the Beanstalk. and maybe it's not a real thing, Wyatt Evans. But hopefully he'll get whatever's going on with him going. That way he is a part of this bullpen, as I think he would be an asset to it. His freshman year, he looked really good, did not throw last year. But the rest of the weekend for Tennessee, Drew Beam goes tomorrow, and then Sunday is still to be determined on that. Could you go, let's see, last Sunday, I think it was Combs that threw. You got to think it's not Combs this weekend. I'm thinking, I don't know. If I had money to bet on it, I probably would just keep my money right now. I don't know. Would it be Sechrist? Would it be Sneed? Could Russell possibly come up? Again, we've not heard much on Russell to know with that. But the one thing we do know is Beam goes tomorrow. And, the one thing we know is this lineup is probably going to pretty much stay intact. The only difference is I could see a little change out with Villeneuve. Got to think Bargo is in tomorrow, depending on if it's a right-handed pitcher. Do they give Chapman an opportunity over Inslee, as Inslee was jerked after 2 at-bats tonight? I think there's still some flexible pieces in this lineup. It's curious to see where they go with it. But what more can you ask for tonight? Got down 2-1, and then once Dreiling hit his home run, this team rolled from there. Got to like their chances the rest of the weekend. What are teams going to do to shut down Tennessee? It's a new day and age. You can throw 95, 97 if you're a pitcher. If you can't locate it and your only way to basically get a strike is throw it down the middle, you're going to pay for it. Guys in high school can hit that type of pitching. Now, I've witnessed it. I witnessed it last year. If you're struggling with control, but you throw hard, your only way to get it across, throw it down the middle, guys are going to make you pay in high school. What do you think is going to happen in college, especially in the SEC? It's going to happen there as well. But again, excuse me, great night for Tennessee baseball. Good start to SEC play. I'll be back to cover the rest of the weekend, post games, after game 2, after game 3. I'll be back in the morning with the next day for Tennessee basketball. It's just a crappy day for Tennessee basketball, but excuse me, I'm sorry. We'll keep on rolling with that, though. Tennessee basketball will find out their fate in the tournament on Sunday, as you got to think they're pretty much for sure a 2 seed with North Carolina win tonight. North Carolina probably going to win their conference tournament. Arizona did lose tonight, so if Carolina would have lost, Tennessee would have still been in play for that. But got to think North Carolina's that 4th one at this point. But my name's Frank Rock, House of Orange. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Have a great night, and go Vols.